The second season of Fallout finally came out, and as I've been rewatching it, I couldn't help but think to myself, man, what a cool show. If only there was like a video game adaptation of it or something. Well, do I have good news for me? There is a video game adaptation of it. In fact, there are 76 of them, which I don't really know how they managed to make 76 games in the span of... Wait a second, I don't know how to count. Editor, do the math for me. So I've done the calculations and the answer is at least 3. Most people are probably very familiar with the Fallout games, but I would guess that they've only ever played the more popular installments of the franchise. However, before Bethesda bought out the Fallout ID, the idea itself was created by One Interplay Productions, who created the first in 1997 and the sequel a year thereafter. I've met many people in my life who've played and absolutely adored the Fallout games, but for some reason the majority of them haven't played the first 2. I wanted to know why. You see, I've never played any Fallout games. That is if you don't consider that one time that I played New Vegas and it crashed after like 10 minutes because I tried to kill a single gecko. So in this video, I'll be playing through all the Fallout games chronologically. Fallout 1 to see if it still holds up today. Although the gameplay and graphics are a bit antiquated, the vibes are still definitely there. Which, to me, has always been the main appeal of this franchise. I mean, look at how stylized this setting menu is. Every UI, UX element in this game is just so on fucking point. I chose to play Natalia, the grandchild of a Russian diplomat which worked in the Los Angeles-based Soviet consulate. None of this information really changes anything gameplay-wise to my understanding, but either way I chose her for her high agility, intelligence, and charisma, not her backstory. This game starts off with some truly bone-chilling visuals, which makes all other horrors within the game like ghouls, mutants, deathclaws, even centaurs, pale in comparison. You have been warned. Ew, what's that? For the 2 people in the crowd that know absolutely nothing about the Fallout franchise, here's a very quick lore summary. Resource scarcity fuels global instability, the US and China start beefing, their Cold War fuels innovation in robotic and nuclear technology, full-scale war erupts, bombs go kablooey, destroying most of the US and presumably the entire world. The stinky winky beta cuck poor people mostly get wiped out, while the mega rich alpha chads hide in advanced self-sufficient vaults. What's left is a Mad Max type world. I, Natalia, am one of those chads, often called vault dwellers. My vault's water chip, a component which is crucial for water purification, has malfunctioned and cannot be fixed. Without it, there are 150 days worth of water supply left for the entire vault. If left unreplaced, everyone in the vault dies. This thing asks me to risk my life and find another water chip in order to save us all. He points me in the direction of another nearby vault as a starting point in my adventure. Seeing as I have no choice in the matter, I head out, becoming the first of Vault 13 to see the light of day. I spent a couple of minutes trying to figure out the controls and how everything works in the game, as it spends very little time explaining things. It just sort of throws you into the deep end with some supplies and goes, "Good luck, fucker!" I choose to see that as a narrative-driven game design choice. After all, this is a game about going from living a relatively cushy life to suddenly being thrown into a very hostile wasteland, so it does make sense, and I respect that. Luckily, my superior gamer brain was able to figure most things out pretty quickly. I beef with some rats which, even though I had nearly a 50-50% chance of hitting one of them, I somehow missed 10 of 12 attacks, which honestly, that just perfectly foreshadows the rest of the game. After fighting for my life against what honestly looked like just a bunch of regular rats, I run out of the cave and finally step foot into the real world, seeing the scorched but beautiful earth for the first time. The travel system in this game is all grid-based. All unexplored blocks are black. Once you set foot on a new block, all adjacent ones and anything in them become visible. As you're traveling, depending on the region you're in, you have different pools of encounters ranging from, "Aww, you got thirsty, so you take a little bit of damage," to, "The gods themselves have deemed you unworthy to continue breathing. Your heart shall cease now." But most of the time, it's just rats. I hate these goddamned fucking rats. On the way to Vault 15, I stumble upon my first settlement, Shady Sands. Two people stand guard at the entrance and greet you. The first being guard leader Seth, who tells you of recent attacks coming from a group of raiders down south and rad scorpions. Oh yeah? Just how rad are they anyways? Do they like wear skate shoes and play guitar or something? That's what I thought. More like lame scorpions, am I right? The other guard, Katarina, helps me figure out some basic mechanics like how to use the first aid and doctor skill, and then mentions she's actually from Vault 15, which, after a schism, many of the inhabitants left, taking with them much of the vault's equipment, leaving the vault very vulnerable to attacks, which led to the eventual abandon of said vault. I don't really see what a song by American prog metal band Tool has to do with any of this, but okay. There's this cool mechanic in the game where if you have a question that's not within the existing dialogue options, you can use the Tell Me About feature, allowing you to freely type whatever you want. Pretty cool feature. That is if it actually fucking did something the majority of the time. Let's see, do you know anything about a water filter? No clue. Wait, it's called a water chip, right? Yeah. Huh, nothing. Well, I guess she doesn't know anything. I'm looking for a water chip scene. What? This wasn't here before. As a matter of fact, yes, my old home Vault 15 had one, but... Katarina, what the fuck are these games you're playing? I look around town and find this man. His name is Ian, and if he were real, I would give him the biggest, wettest smooch. Ian is a gun for hire, but to me, he is so much more than that. He's loyal, he's strong, extremely resilient, he's fashionable and dreamy. There's just simply no one like him. If you ignore all the other NPCs who use the exact same character model. But hey, he single-handedly carried me throughout a fair majority of the game. And all that for the low price of 100 bottle caps. Call now at 1-800-IAN before we run out of stock. That is once again 1-800-IAN. Don't miss out. This opportunity may never come again. Any property or personal damage caused by Ian is not our liability. Any complaints or issues should be directed right up your ass. Unfortunately, I didn't have 100 bottle caps at this time, so I offered him something better. To engage in hanky-panky with me. I know he can't resist. No, I don't think so. Fuck you! Man, you're chopped anyways. I wasn't actually interested. Seth over there dared me to do it for like 25 bottle caps. Yeah. You think I was interested in you? Bye, loser.
Are you crying?
No! I go to the town mayor to see if he has— Ah! Sorry, that startled me a bit. He just tells me the same things that Seth already told me about the rad scorpion, so I offer to help out, which excites him a bit too much for my liking.
Yes, yes.
Ugh. Chill, you freak. He directs me to the town medic Razlo, who asked me to bring him a sample of their venom so he can make an antidote. I asked if he has any useful info on these Scrops. That's short for scorpions, by the way. Turns out they're sensitive to light, and with that, I now have the perfect plan. You see, in my inventory, I have 2 flares. It's no coincidence you start the game with these. I think it's pretty clear what they want you to do with them. But before leaving, homegirl Katarina, or Tar for short, tells me her good friend Tandi has gone missing. She thinks she's been captured by the raiders in the south. These raiders will be the bane of my existence for like half the game. But for now, I just went to kill some scorpions. So I go into the rad scorpion cave, spot one, take out a flare, and let me tell you, the scorpion didn't expect what happened next. I think it bugged out, hang on. And let me tell you, the scorpion didn't expect— Fuck, why didn't it go off? Here's the thing, at this point, I didn't quite understand how the inventory functionalities worked. In fact, I didn't up until nearly the end of the game. In your inventory, you can switch between two modes by right-clicking. Command mode, which is used for moving and equipping things, and use mode, where by default if you click on an object it just inspects it. But if you long press in this mode, it opens up the entire interaction menu, which includes the additional use and throw away button, and a couple other situational ones. So the way you're supposed to use these flares is to first light them up within your inventory using the use button, and then you can throw them at the scorpions. If I spent even just a little bit of time trying to figure out this functionality this early on, I would have saved so much time down the line, but I didn't. Oh well, you live, you learn, I guess. Either way, after chucking 2 unlit flares at the scorpion, I kill it, grab its stinger, find out I misunderstood my assignment. Razlo told me to bring a sample so he can make me an antidote in case I get stung. I double checked with the mayor and yep, apparently the objective was to kill all the scorpions. On the way out, I get another unprompted jump scare.
Hi, I heard there was a traveler in town, but I was kind of skeptical until I saw you. My name's Tandi, what's yours?
Tandi? I guess she saved herself? Good for you, girl boss. I go back to the cave again, find the rest of the scorpions, start killing them, miss 6 shots on one of them, die. Remember I last saved like 10 minutes ago, ponder whether being born was worth it, go back to town, make an honest wage stealing from the townsfolk, make enough money to hire Ian, and finally go back to the cave and sit back and relax as Ian does all the work. Finally, I get my reward of never hearing this perv moan again.
Oh my.
Before I leave this place for good, I went to dap my boy Seth up, but he wasn't in the mood because Tandi got captured by raiders and needs to be saved. Wait, again? Wasn't she just back like 2 seconds ago? Damn, I guess she has like, shit, what's it called? Sweden syndrome? Well, whatever. Me and Ian here just took down like 9 enormous radioactive scorpions. A couple of raiders ain't shit. I decided it's best I just come back after upgrading my gear a bit. So, meanwhile, I searched for 2 settlements I kept hearing about, the Hub and Junktown. I was told they were somewhere south and should have some gear for sale, but I had no luck finding them, so I just went to the damn vault instead. On my way, I get harassed by my worst nemesis, Rat. When I make it there, I find the elevator's broken. Oh well. I go back to my search when I suddenly get a random encounter with a bunch of cows and a cryptic message. You feel there is something wrong. I took this as a threat, so I started blasting. I tore and shredded through flesh and bone, till all which was left was a heap of carcasses. I stood there, breathing in the air now heavy with misted blood. Nothing left but the void in my heart. I stared down at the atrocity I just committed. Apparently this is a very rare encounter, and the thing that's wrong here is that these cows can speak, which was an old inside joke between the devs. Very cool, Kanye. The weight of my sins shall never wash away. I stumble upon a region by the name of Necropolis, which is filled with a bunch of ghouls. A bit later this place will matter, but for now it doesn't. I did, however, suddenly realize I have the fast travel option for the Hub in Junktown. Not sure when it appeared and why, but hey. A win is a win. So I make it to Junktown, and my first encounter here was a man who told me I look very juicy. I don't know if I'm being sexually harassed, scouted for cannibalism, or both, but I'll just take it as a compliment. In Junktown, I find a general shop called Dark Waters. Finally, I can get myself some better weapons. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Instead, I buy myself something I can afford, like these bullets, which I can't even use because the single gun I own takes a different type of ammo. Still no idea why I did that. I noticed this interesting quirk in the shop where if you talk to Killian, the shopkeeper, directly, you only get a portion of his stock. To see everything he has, you have to get your greasy fingers on the stuff on the table, he confronts you, and only then does he show you everything he's got. This game is full to the brim of these interesting quirks. I'm assuming it's a bug, but honestly, only God knows at this point. With not enough caps to buy something of use, I decided to go search for something that can earn me some moolah. Luckily, a quest found me instead. As I was about to leave the store, some man walks in and makes an attempt on Killian's life, but the attempt wasn't too fruitful. In other words, he wanted to put the kill in Killian and attempted killing Killian, but Killian killed him instead. I steal the goon's rifle, which I never used, even though it's stronger than the Desert Eagle I wanted to buy, because I was under the impression that this gun is considered a big gun, which was one of my lowest ranking skills, so I just avoided them as a whole. But it turns out that most guns in this game are in the small gun category, including sniper rifles, by the way. The big gun category consists of truly big guns like flamethrowers, rocket launchers, and machine guns. Killian thanks me for my heroic bravery, which saved his life. and offered me a job in exchange for anything I wanted from the store. I gladly accepted his offer. My task was to get a confession out of a man named Gizmo, who he believes is the one sending hitmen to get rid of him. He provides me with a bug and practically no information on who this man is and where I can find him, which is a pattern that repeats itself again and again in this game. You're expected to just always search and figure things out on your own. But does it look like I have more than 4 brain cells that are firing off at once? Just tell me what to do. I ask around and find out that Gizmo owns the local casino in town. I don't remember seeing a casino anywhere, so I ask about it, hoping for directions. So let me get this straight. Gizmo owns the casino, and the casino is owned by Gizmo.
Here's the deal.
Thanks. After a bit, I find that there is actually another section to the town up north. Huh. I get the feeling the casino's around here somewhere. I see Gizmo and engage in conversation with him, and then realize I probably needed to plant the bug first. But after talking to him once, he doesn't want to talk anymore. Like, ever. Luckily, I saved not too long ago, so it's just a minor setback. I reset, and this time I began trying to steal the bug onto him, which was very intuitive, and I definitely figured that out on my own. Some save scumming later, I finally get the bug on him and trick him into admitting he's trying to get rid of Killian. I bring the confession back to Killian and he gives me my reward. Except he's a filthy fucking liar. He said I could have anything from his store, but now he only presents me with 4 options and none of them are the Desert Eagle I wanted. Well, whatever. I grabbed the leather armor, which was probably better for me at this moment either way, as I was pretty dang squishy. He offers an additional job to help them get Gizmo for 500 caps. I accept and he tells me to go talk to Lars. What the fuck is Lars? And where do I find one? Well, I ask Killian and he replies with, secret, hehe. So I went on yet another search to find some information. In my search, I find this funny dialogue error in the game. I'm Andrew. My job is to guard the jail. No thanks. I continued looking, but I really began to get frustrated at this point. Who the fuck is Lars? This is Lars. As you see, I have my cursor pointed at him, so with that in mind, what do you think I do next? Eventually, I come back to him and we go get Gizmo's ass. This Gizmo fellow seems to have the survival instincts of a Cheeto, so I was able to deploy the tactic of standing beside his desk and poking him, which he didn't seem to mind, as he kept sitting there and didn't attack me back or anything. Eventually we kill them, I loot their bodies, get my money from Killian, sell their loot, finally get the deagle even though it's worse than the rifle, and part ways with Killian. I'll miss my sweet baby boy. I look around the town to see if there's anything important I might have missed and came across the town medic whose name is Dr. Morbid. Would you be surprised to find out he runs a black market organ business from his basement along with... Shit, what was his partner's name? Oh, right. You could really tell the age of this game, huh? I mean, who uses the word rotund? Either way, I chose to just leave them alone. And by that I mean I tried fighting them, but then their guards ended up killing me and I couldn't care to come back and try again. I talk to Lars, who says if I'm looking for more work, I can help him bust the Skulls gang, but honestly at this point I didn't really care and just wanted to move the story along. I go back to Vault 15. This time, I take with me a rope. I was honestly starting to get kind of worried as I only have around 3 months left to get the chip, and I've heard that you can easily hard lock yourself if you don't do it in time. I go down into Vault 15 to find, yet again, my greatest nemesis, Too Many Rat. I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to find the water chip here to no avail, so eventually I just searched up where I'm supposed to find it. Turns out, the water chip is unattainable here as the command center has caved in, but I didn't know that. The game apparently showed me this message, but I can't say I was paying any attention to what the log said most of the time. I understand this game is pretty old, but I feel like it's pretty timeless knowledge in game design that if you want to show a player an important message, you do it in a way that grabs their attention, not just put it in the corner of the screen with absolutely zero feedback. Also, that's not even to mention the fact that there's constantly new information being displayed on the log. Like, look at how quickly this message disappears as I continue exploring things. Seems a bit unfair. Well, Since that was a dead end, I make my way to the hub, hoping it'll lead me somewhere. In the hub, I find a couple of side quests, plenty of shops, a man who sells iguana skewers, a group called the Water Merchants, and most importantly, a random man near an alleyway who seems to be very down bad. Why is everybody horny? I asked the water merchants if they know where a homie can get a water chip around these parts, and they told me the best place to look would be in Necropolis. For the sake of transparency, earlier when I couldn't figure out what I meant to do in Vault 15, I kinda spoiled the game for myself a bit. I saw in the corner of my eye mentions of Necropolis and sewers, so I instantly knew I was meant to go down under. I enter the first manhole I find, and after exploring a bit, I find this group of sewer ghouls. One of them explains to me that in Necropolis they have a water pump they used to get their supply from, but ever since it broke down, they rely solely on the water chip to get clean water. I could just steal the water chip and leave. I could. But unfortunately, I have this stupid thing called a conscience, so I decided instead to just fix up their water pump first so they don't quote-unquote die. Firstly, I gotta find the parts for the pump, fix it, and only then I can take the water chip. I follow the direction the ghoul gave me and find the watershed, which contains both the pump and the chip. I spot what I thought at the time was like an ogre or something, but allegedly it's a super mutant. I don't know. Looks like an ogre to me. They seem pretty chill with me for now. I'm sure that won't change anytime soon for any particular reason. I go back into the sewer and find what I assumed was the junk parts I needed to fix the pump. Issue is that it was being protected by a bunch of mole rats. This seems to be some prized possession of theirs, but you know what they say. One radioactive mole rat's treasure is another man's means of saving his own people and a bunch of other ghouls. Which, by the way, used to be Fallout's original tagline, but due to the mole extremism of the late 90s, they had to change it for PR reasons. I get the parts and find where I think I need to go to next, but the only way to get there seems to be through another manhole in the surface. I'm sure getting there won't involve having to go through any super mutants or anything. After looking around on the surface, I spot a room that seems to be right above the area I need to go to. The only way through is here, however. Who knows, maybe they're like cooling kind and don't want to hurt me. Oh, and they're on my ass. I quickly realize there's no way in hell I'm able to survive this in a fair fight with them, especially since Ian decided he's taking the damn day off, so I deploy my ultimate tactic of running like a chicken and taking pot shots during opportune moments, which was working well until I absolutely got my shit rocked. So I deployed my super ultimate tactic, running for my life without looking back. They're pretty slow and seem to have the object permanence of a toddler, so the second I got enough distance and went around the corner, they just forgot I existed and stopped pursuing me. Ian finally came back, but I gave him the silent treatment so he has time to think about what he's done. I heal and head back. This time Ian actually follows me. It seems he's learned his lesson. I start the fight off with a grenade that kills 2 of the mutants, which would have been so cool if you could actually see it happening. Then I get my shit rocked once again. This time, however, I did not cower. I was no longer afraid. I've been through hell and back. Nothing can deter me. No, this time I faced them head on. After I hid behind a wall and healed, of course. After I killed them all, and I want to be clear, Ian did not kill the rest while I was hiding and healing, I finally head inside and kill the last super mutant. He wasn't in the way or anything. I could have just passed him without him even noticing. Really, I just did it for the love of the game. His name was Barry, by the way. Finally, I found the water pump, and when trying to fix it, I had this message pop up. Now, does this sound to you like it means, "Hey champ, it's okay. We all fail sometimes. Just give it another couple more tries and you'll succeed eventually." Or, "You fucking suck. You'll never do anything good in your life. You'll never succeed in anything. This is why your parents gave you up for adoption. Kill yourself." To me, it personally sounds a little bit more like the latter. A lot of times this game just doesn't telegraph too well whether you're failing because you don't have the necessary skill requirements or just because you're shit out of luck. And so there have been several times where I just kept attempting something over and over again, not knowing if I'm just wasting my time or if I just need to give it another couple of tries until Lady Luck decides to take off her strap-on. Anyways, I eventually fix the water pump. I go down, take the water chip, and take a big sigh of relief. I finally head back to the vault. Since the raider camp was on the way to the vault and I was feeling pretty cocky, I made a decision to try to take the raiders down again. I mean, we just took down a bunch of super mutants with laser weapons. A couple of raiders ain't shit. I just go back to the vault. I return to Vault 15 with the water chip and hand it over. The overseer thanks me and takes a look at my reports, where he finds something of concern. The amount of mutants on the surface greatly exceeded their estimates. This leads the overseer to think there might be someone producing them. And so, without skipping a beat, he sends me on yet another quest. This time, to find and take care of whoever is making these mutants. I get the feeling he's trying to get rid of me. Well, fuck it. I guess I got nothing better to do, so why not? The first person I thought about was of course Dr. Morbid, because with a name like that, you have to be involved in some underground nefarious shit. So I give him a visit. Hey, buddy old pal, how you doing? Oh, you little Hey man, I'm sorry. That was a bit insensitive of me. But also, so I'm gonna assume they had nothing to do with the mutants. Well, not like he needs any of his shit anymore. Fuck! Since I was already in Junktown, I decided I might as well finish Lars's task with the Skulls gang that he told me about earlier. So I went back to get some info from him. Why does everyone in this game have amnesia, for God's sake? Screw this, I'm going to the hub. Searching for info on the mutants, I get a side quest from this guy to investigate the disappearances of some trader caravans. He says there are some rumors of a Deathclaw lurking nearby and attacking caravans for some reason. He tells me to go talk to Beth to get more info on Deathclaws. I'll be honest, at this point, I was pretty tired of being told to talk to someone and not be given any information on where they are and how to find them, so I'm just gonna not do any of that right now and instead try to get some better gear and go back to the raiders. I find the weapons dealer in the old town who had all the good shit. Combat armor. You know, I think it's time I treat myself a little bit. You know, on second thought, I think my armor is fine actually. For some reason I buy way too many bullets. I ended up throwing the majority away later on after eventually finding a better weapon, so I'm glad I wasted 2,000 bottle caps on this. I decided to go back and try to fight the raiders as is, but this time I employed a slightly different tactic. I was picking them off one by one, which went great. Until I turned Ian to dust. Tired of doing this shit over and over again, I had the brilliant idea of trying a more diplomatic approach. Apparently this entire time I could have just challenged their leader to a fist fight and get Tandi back if I win. And wow, was this the most boring shit I've ever done. It was literally just us taking turns smacking each other until one of us died. My only source of entertainment was Ian just occasionally beefing with the bush. I'm not entirely sure what it did or said, but it surely pissed him off. After nearly 8 minutes of some of the most exhilarating gameplay, I finally died. I remembered seeing someone selling these pills called Buff Out, which I assumed was a strength buff consumable. Unfortunately, I don't remember who it was, so I'll just have to go to each seller one by one until I find it. Luckily for me, I actually ended up stumbling by a guy who sells illicit substances, such as Stimpaks and Jacket. He also had Buff Out, so I got some and returned to the raiders, hopefully for the last time. I'm so damn tired of coming back here again and again. I really don't know if I can do this any longer. With determination flowing through my blood, I get back into the ring and have the time of my life. Meanwhile, Ian seems to be dealing with his own troubles. Fuck you. You'll pay for what you've done. Eight grueling minutes later, I come out the victor, and as promised, I get Tandi back. For some reason, I decided to talk to the now dead leader's right-hand woman. That's right, they may be raiders, but that doesn't mean they don't believe in equal rights. Unfortunately, talking to her seems to just lock you into starting combat, as none of these dialogue options seem like they'll end in a tea party. Miraculously, I kill them all on the first try and save everyone. No, really, this isn't like a gag where I'm gonna cut away to me dying like 8 times or something. What? Why are you still here? I really do mean it. Go away! So with Tandi with me, I am able to finally bring her back to her father. I just want to be done with this and take a break. I'm so damn tired. I finally drop Tandi off. If she gets captured a third time, well, you know what they say. Fool me once, fool me twice, Fool me thrice. I don't know how this saying goes, okay? Fuck you. For my sake, this video is going to be split into 2 parts, and the first part is going to end right here. Don't worry though, the second part will come sooner than later, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Bye. Will our protagonist find the mutant army and finally take them down? Will Ian get revenge on the bush for the atrocities it's committed to his entire village years back? Perhaps Natalia finds love in an unexpected place. Stay tuned for the next episode to find out.